I am almighty sculptor Quasimodo, seeking a mystical clay of unparalleled power. One fateful day, I ventured to the nearby brick factory, my hunchback swaying with each determined step. For such clay, you must journey to the R-T-A-N-J pyramid. But beware, a mummy guards it, and you must awaken him with a holy liquor that hydrates for precisely 24 hours. No more, no less. Suddenly, our shovels struck something hard. Behold, I exclaimed, the doors to a new realm. We pried them open, revealing a dungeon filled with gold and mummies. Good sir, I bellowed to the bewildered salesman, I seek a clay most extraordinary. With that, he reached into his casket and pulled out a rotary phone. Your ride awaits, Maleki announced, gesturing grandly, to the true source of the mystical clay. Of course, it lies hidden in the belly of a giant tap-dancing platypus. As we climbed aboard, I couldn't help but ask, where are we going? We watched in stunned silence as he dialed, the click, click, click of the ancient device echoing through the chamber. He croaked, "We search for I replied, my voice echoing dramatically. Their leader, unknown with a beard, so long it trailed behind him like a bridal train, challenged us to an "You dumb people," he sighed. "You think I'd bring that to my grave? This is the wrong place entirely." The platypus was last seen doing the cha-cha through him. Maleki informed us, consulting his ancient smartphone. The mummy's eyes lit up. "It is I, Maleki. What business have you with me? If you lose, you must stay here and knit sweaters for eternity." There, in the spotlight, was our quarry, a platypus, the size of a house, tap-dancing its heart out to a jazzy tune. Onward, my ridiculous mount. I cried, and we set off towards the R-T-A-N-J pyramid, the oldest and most precious in all the land. "We seek the giant platypus," the peasant girl shouted. "Then you must prove yourselves worthy, ... through the art of dance. For now, let us marvel at the sight of a hunchback attempting to moonwalk, a mummy doing the robot, and a peasant girl perfecting her pirouettes, all while a colossal platypus tap dances circles around us. In the world of mystical clay quests, it seems anything is possible. As we shimmied and shook, I couldn't help but wonder, was this really what I had in mind when I set out on this quest? We, Z, platypus, is magnifique. The cave responded in a comical French accent. B. The salesman, his eyes wide with a mix of fear and amusement, replied, "Ah, Quasimodo, you peculiar artisan. Never have I seen such a beautifully knitted portrait of a cross-eyed llama wearing a top hat," he admitted. "Platypus went that way, towards the cavern of improbable echo." The peasant girl and Maleki cheered me on as I furiously knitted, my hunchback providing the perfect shelf for my young. Undeterred by this bizarre quest, I mounted my trusty steed, a horse with comically tiny wings that fluttered uselessly. Upon arrival, I realized with horror that I had forgotten my shovel. Cursed, these misshapen hands, I lamented, preparing to dig with my bare finger. But lo, a peasant girl appeared, shovel in hand. "I'll help you dig," she offered, "but only if I can join your quest." Together we dug furiously, our odd duo drawing stares from passing camels. One mummy stirred, his bandages rustling. "What seek? Thee in my domain. We need the mystical clay." The peasant girl and I shouted in unison. Maleki rolled his ancient eyes. But then Maleki's expression changed. "Fear not, for I shall summon the chariots of destiny." Moments later, a gleaming chariot burst through the dungeon wall. Maleki grinned, his mummified face stretching unnaturally. Pan. And so our motley crew, a hunchbacked sculptor, a peasant girl, and a phone-wielding mummy, set off in our chariot, be ready to face whatever absurd challenges awaited us in our quest for the mystical clay. Our first stop was the enchanted forest of mismatched socks, where trees grew argyle patterns and squirrels wore tiny leghorn. As we ventured deeper into the forest, we encountered a group of gnomes engaged in an intense game of competitive knitting. "If you win," he declared, "we'll tell you where the platypus went." I stepped forward, my misshapen hands gripping the needles. "I accept your challenge, tiny bearded one." Hours passed, and finally the gnome king conceded defeat. We thanked the gnomes and continued our journey. The cavern of improbable echoes lived up to its name. Every sound we made was repeated back to us in increasingly ridiculous accents. "Hello," I called out, "JJ mate." The cave replied in an exaggerated Australian twang. Suddenly, we heard a rhythmic tapping. Following the sound, we emerged from the cave to find ourselves on a massive stage. Behold, Maleki, cried the guardian of the mystical clay. The platypus stopped mid-shuffle and turned to us. "You seek my clay?" it asked in a surprisingly deep voice. And so, dear friends, that is how I, Quasimodo, the sculptor, found myself engaged in a dance-off with a giant platypus, peasant girl, and a mummy, all for the sake of some mystical clay. That, my friends, is a story for another time.